if you are a Ferrari fan, this season has probably been really tough. But if you're not a Ferrari fan, stick around until the end of this video and tell me what you think. Do you think Ferrari needs to change, or do they know what they're doing? Throughout the season, Ferrari has been impressive, don't get me wrong. Their car has sheer pace to take on Red Bull, Mercedes and everyone else. In qualifying, it's very often a Ferrari car who is leading the timesheets. But in Formula 1, you don't get points for qualifying, but rather you get points for the race on Sunday. And Sunday is one of those days where Ferrari struggles the most. Bad pit stops, strategy errors, reliability issues, all of these have just plagued the team. This has led the media and press to criticize the team. Now, if you don't believe the press and media, there are even Formula 1 world champions who feel the same way. Enters Mr. Nico Rosberg, a Formula 1 world champion who beat the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton in the same machinery. He shared his thoughts on Ferrari. Now, he said a lot of things, but what really stood out was this.
Well, even Formula 2 teams or Formula 3 teams do a better job at their strategy and pit stops than Ferrari. So, you go in the pit and there's no tire there.
Formula 1 is the pinnacle of motorsports. The entire world watches every move you make. Photographers take pictures of every small change, even in aerodynamic parts. Drivers sometimes don't drink water for an entire race just to save weight. Teams even wait and take pictures when their rivals' cars are hoisted in the air just to figure out the weight distribution of the car. All of this is pretty intense stuff that has no room for errors. What Nico Rosberg said isn't wrong. At the Dutch Grand Prix, the Ferrari team called their drivers into the pits for a routine pit stop. But then they only had 3 tires instead of 4. Of course, the team boss Mr. Mattia Binotto said that this was due to a late pit stop call being made. But in Formula 1, there is a time window within which each team has to make decisions. If a pit crew is not ready for a pit stop before this window, they should abort the pit stop. A similar thing has happened in Monaco and it cost Charles Leclerc the race. Now, if this was Williams or even Aston Martin, no one would be complaining this much. It would be expected of them. But this is Ferrari, the most successful team in Formula 1. They have been racing in every season of Formula 1 since the start. Enzo Ferrari is probably rolling in his grave. The team boss, Mr. Mattia Binotto, has been captaining his ship through the storm. The ship has been battered and bruised all season long, but instead of plugging these leaks, Mr. Binotto has said that there's nothing wrong, and he said that nothing needs to change. He even responded to Rosberg's remark and he said, "We will not change people." That's a straight answer to Rosberg. What is more important is simply the stability and making sure you're improving race by race. We have a great team, I have no doubt about that. However, it is important to note that much earlier in the season, Binotto said that Ferrari's plans were never to win the championship this season, but rather to be competitive. Now that sort of makes sense when you look at it. The Ferrari cars were struggling pretty badly in the past seasons and they couldn't even compete with Red Bull and Mercedes. But this season they have strong pace and they've even won a few races. Earlier in the year he had said, "Our objective is to be competitive, not to win the championship." And it would be completely wrong to turn that into, "Let's try to win the championship just because we are so competitive." Being competitive is one fact, becoming world champion is another level of task. But also I think it would be wrong as management to change objectives from the ones we gave them. Now, whatever seems to be the case, this season has been one of Ferrari's best shot at winning the World Championship in recent times. But then again, maybe they'll come back more dominant next year. Who knows? And that's why I've asked you to take a call. Do you think Ferrari needs to change? Or do you think Ferrari knows what they're doing? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, stay tuned to Fervent Motorsports as we take you through this entire silly season of Formula 1.